Okay, so let's continue with our Git series. So till now, and we are looking the GitHub Actions. So let's do some quick revision. So till now we have seen how to create the GitHub action. So we need the workflow. So we need to create a .github folder, and under that .github folder, we need to create a workflows folder, and we need to create the YAML file. So either it could be YML or it could be YAML file. So we see the basic workflow file, what is name, like how the basically basic workflow look likes. So we have the name of the workflow, the run name, and on means the basically event when this workflow is going to be triggered. So whether would do you need to run this workflow on the pull request or on push request or manually. So this is basically manually workflow dispatches manually. Okay, so when this going to be run, what all jobs needs to be triggered. So this job need to be triggered, but in this job, but all steps needs to be run. So these are the steps. All right, and this job should run on which platform, which virtual machine. So it should be on the Ubuntu latest virtual machine. And under that steps, we see, okay, we can use two names. One is the name of the particular step, and the run means if you have running your own script or your own command, then you can use the run. But if you want to use some inbuilt actions, then you can use the uses instead of the run, because you are using some third party, not you are writing your own script. So you are using, right. And if you want to run multiple, if you want to run multiple actions, then you have to use this or operator pipe symbol. All right. So we have see this basic workflow. Then we see the variables, how we can access the global variables by using dollar symbol and bears dot, how we can set the job level environment variable, how we can set the step level environment variable. All right. So we have seen that. Then we see how we can set the variables based on the environment. So these are the basically repository variables, and how we can set the variables based on the environment. So we created three environments, dev, queue, and the production. And we have the same environment variable host name, but the value for the host name is different for dev, value for the host name is different for queue, and value for the host name is different for product. So we set in our GitHub settings. You can watch the video, and we are accessing by giving some environment variable so that this is going to know, okay, so I have to access the host name variable, but for which environment? So I have to check the dev environment and I can get the value of the particular this. So we covered this, but now in this video, we are going to see the store artifacts. So store artifact is basically very like on day-to-day life common use case. So what is storing the artifacts? So generally in your actual application, well, now I'm talking about the actual applications. So when you write your own actual application, so what you did is you write some code. So you write some code, right? So let's take a basic example. So a basic example in the Python is just an addition function. So we write some addition function, and it took any number of arguments, and it is going to return the all the sum of all the arguments. Just a basic function. All right. So you write some code and you write some test. So we write some test. So we imported our application, and within the app we have the addition. So we write some couple of tests, and all the tests should be start from test underscore, and we are going to run using PyTest. So we write a few test scenario for the two number 10, 5, 15 for the negative numbers, for the single number if we have single number, and if we are not passing any number. But you want to run this test. Now you want to run this test in your pipeline. Okay, we can run our test in the pipeline, but sometimes we are going to generate some report from our test. So as an example, when you are going to run your test using PyTest, so let's run. So we are using the poetry framework. You can use requirement or txt pip file or anything. So we are using the poetry framework. So for the poetry we have the py project toml. So and we define PyTest and PyTest html. So what I want to do is I want to run my unit test using PyTest. Along with that, say as an example, so if I just do PyTest, what it will do, it is just going to run my test, right? But where is the report? I could not see the report. If I want to see the report, so what can I can do is, so there are multiple ways. Do you want to see the report in XML format? Do you want to see your report in HTML format? So if you want to see your report in HTML format, which is a good way, and then you have to use this third package library, but which is the PyTest HTML. So we installed that, right? So now what we have to do is PyTest hyphen HTML is equal to result.html. So what I am going to say is I want to run the test case, but once the test has been executed, I want to see the report in result.html format and hit enter. So test has been run, and you see the generated HTML report. So HTML report has been generated. So if you click on that, you could see the HTML report has been generated, and we can see, okay, this test has been passed, this test passed, this test has been passed. So all four has been passed, zero failed, zero skip. So like a good report, and we can see the duration as well. So basically a good report. So we want to generate this report, but if we want to generate this report in our pipeline, GitHub pipeline, where we are going to actually see this report, right? So we have to store this report somewhere, because in our locally this report is going to store in our repo. But when we are going to run our pipeline in GitHub Actions, so that is going to run in some virtual environment. We can't access that virtual environment. So that report is going to generate in that virtual environment. So how we are going to see that report? So one good way is we can do is we can upload that report to the artifacts. So basically storing the workflow data as an artifact, or you can say upload your artifacts. So in this, we are going to see how we are going to run our test, and whatever the output is going to generate, whether it's the coverage file or whether it's like a HTML file, our is a report HTML file, how we are going to upload that. All right. So first thing is that we have to like create our workflow file. So let's create a workflow file. So file number file 4, run test and upload result.yaml. So we are going to do that. And most of the syntax are remain same. So I am just going to do the copy paste. So most of the syntax are remain same. So first we need the name. So name of the workflow. Okay, run test and upload result. So this is my name. So run name is not mandatory, but if you want to give, you can give. So we can just give, okay, who is running this workflow and which workflow who is running. All right. On when this workflow is going to be run. So we are just covering workflow dispatch, which is manually. So till now we are not raising any pull requests. We are going to run our workflow manually. So workflow dispatch, which is fine. Now, what jobs we want to run? So only one job we want to run, that is the unit test. So we want to execute our unit test. All right. On which machine we want to run our unit test? So we want to execute our unit test on Ubuntu latest. All right. Now, under that unit test, how we are going to run this unit test? Like what steps we are going to follow? So what steps we are going to follow? So basically what steps? So in local, how you are going to run? How you are running? So in local, you have the repo. So in the virtual machine, so this virtual machine is currently empty. So we need our whole repository code in this like a virtual machine, right? So first step is check out the code. Basically git clone, right? So we are running the steps. So name checkout repository. Okay. So in the checkout repository, we know we don't need to write our own code. We have the inbuilt action available. So if we have the inbuilt action available, we have to use that action. So we need uses. Okay. What is the action name? So actions slash checkout and version v4. So currently version v4 is available. Maybe when you see the video at that time, version 5 is available. So basically what you can do is you can come here, GitHub slash actions, and because these are the GitHub actions, and you can come here and you can see checkout. So checkout action is available. So if you click on it, and you could see version 4 is available, v4, and you can see the syntax as well. Okay, we have to use these actions at that checkout v4. Maybe at the time version 5, version 6 will be available. All right. So first option is we have to checkout. Okay, now checkout has been done. But next? What next? We have to, like, so this is our machine. This is our machine. So in our machine, we clone our repository. After that, so we are running Python code. So Python should be installed. So we have to set up the Python. We have to set up the Python. Set up Python. Right. So how to set up the Python? One way is you to manually install the Python, but you don't need to manually install. So again, come here, GitHub Actions, and you can go to the repository and set up Python something. Yeah, set up Python, and if you click on it, you can copy that action, set up Python, v5. So uses this. But which Python version we want to install? So with which person Python version? So Python hyphen version. Which version? I want to use 3.11. I want to use 3.11. So and that's it. Why 3.11? Because in my local I am using 3.11, and in my project .toml file I mentioned 3.11. So that's why 3.11. Okay. So that's done. So now I have set up the Python. What next? So once Python has been set up, I need to install the pip. Because when we install the Python, pip is automatically installed. But generally, what we do is we upgrade the pip version because maybe pip version is old. So install dependency. All right. So now how to install that? Python minus m pip install minus upgrade pip. I think this is the command. Let me cross verify. So yeah, Python minus m pip install minus upgrade pip. So we have installed that. Now what next? So we have to first thing is that we have to install the multiple things. All right. So one thing is that we have to install the pip, or even you. This is not a mandatory step, but the mandatory step is because we are using poetry. So poetry should be installed. So how to install the poetry? Pip install poetry. Okay. Now poetry has been installed. So once the poetry has been installed, because we have to run our command poetry run pytest. So before running that command, all the package within the poetry within the poetry dev dependency, it should be installed. So we have to do poetry install. All right. So if we do poetry install, it is going to do main dependency as well. Let's suppose we have some main package as well, maybe Flask or something. It is going to install that, but I don't want to install that. So what we have to do? Minus minus with dev minus minus no root. So minus minus with dev means we have to install the dev dependency. Minus minus no root means because we know when we install the poetry install, it is going to install the project as well. So I don't want to install the project, that is minus no root. So now dependency has been installed. Okay, what next? So next step is run test and generate HTML report. Okay, so how to run the test? Poetry, poetry run pytest minus minus HTML is equal to result.html. So you are going to run this like this pytest hyphen minus v if you want to do, or minus minus HTML like we do it locally. All right. Okay. Now what next? So now the main thing is for which we are covering this video is how to store these artifacts. So now store the HTML report to artifacts. So right. So how to store? There should be some command, there should be some API. So you don't need to worry. There is some action available. So what is the action? How we am going to know? So we can come here, we can go to the actions, and we can click here repository. And so there is an upload artifact. You click here. So upload artifact. So artifact means some kind of file. So how to do that? So we have to do actions upload artifact and v4. So I can come here and use this action v4. Okay. But this is action. Does it require anything else? Definitely it should require anything else, like which file it needs to be uploaded, by which name it should be uploaded. So what we can do is, okay, so it need the with parameter, it need the name parameter, it need the path parameter. Okay. So it need the with parameter, it need the name parameter. So what is the name by which we want to upload? So let's suppose unit test report.html. So I want to upload this. From where it should pick? So it is on the root directory, because when I run this command, result.html will be available on the root directory. So I just have to do result.html because my file is result.html. All right. So it is going to upload that. So let's try that whether it's going to run or is there any issue. So git status, and I think everything is okay. git add git commit minus m add store artifact workflow. So now git push. So now let me open that. Let me open the repo. So we can go to the actions. So now we can see we have like our workflow available, run test and upload artifact. And it did not run because it has set as workflow dispatch, which means we need to manually trigger that. So let's manually trigger that. Run one workflow. So we have triggered that. Let's see if it is running or it gives some error. So we know we have only one job, that is unit test. Click on it. So in the unit test, we have checkout repository, we have setting up Python, we have installed dependency, we have run test, and we have the store. So let's see like how all the step will go and will it actually going to generate or not. So it is going to run. So we have installed the dependency. Let's see whether the test has been run. So all the 4 tests has been run and you see the report has been generated. And let's see whether the artifact has been uploaded or not. So yeah, artifact unit test report HTML has been successfully uploaded. But where it is uploaded? Where I can see? Will it upload it on our repo? No. Where actually it is uploaded? So basically there is an artifact option within our workflow. So if you click on the workflow, so if you click here, right? So this workflow, you could see now we have one option, artifacts. So basically artifact for which workflow? This workflow. So we come on this workflow. Artifact for which run? For this run. So click on that run. So now we could see artifacts. Artifacts. So earlier we are not able to see. Now we see this unit test report HTML is available. So 6.68 KB. So this is available here. All right. So this is very useful when you are running some pipeline because you want to do that. So there are so many other parameters. So this is the main basic thing which we are going to use, like upload artifacts. So you see upload artifacts. You want to do the code coverage. So if you want to upload your code coverage, you can upload that. You want to upload your test, you want to upload that. Along with that, let's suppose you want to upload some file and you don't want to upload some file. So what we have to do is we want to upload with this name something. We want to get all the file from this folder, dist folder, but we don't want to upload some MD file. So what we have to do is not equal to star.md. So any file which is ending with MD markdown, we don't have to upload. So we have the not equal to operator, and rest of that it's going to upload. All right. So there are some retention period as well. All right. So we can set the retention days as well. Retention days is equal to 5 if you want today. All right, because we are the free user, so there are some limit, there are some size. So always better we can set this retention days. So let me set that as well, path and then retention days. And I don't want to even store for the 5 days. I want to store for 1 days. So what we can do is git status and git add git commit minus m added retention days git push. So retention days has been added. So let's trigger our workflow because it's a manual workflow. So we need to manually trigger it. So let's manually run it. Yeah, so we have manually trigger it. So workflow has been started. Let's wait. So yeah, steps are running. So it is installing, it is generating. Yeah, everything has been done. So now and actions run particular action. So we come here. So this file now the retention period has been set as 1, and even we can manually delete it if you want to delete. All right. So if you manually want to delete, you can delete that. But after 1 day, this file is automatically going to be deleted. All right. And we say there are only 1 artifacts. All right. So by this way, you can store the artifact. So which is very useful even in the actual project. So this is like till now, like if you see our earlier workflow, maybe we have covered some very dummy things, but to understand the syntax. But this thing is definitely is going to be used in actual projects. So you have to run your test in the actual pipeline, and you want to upload your artifact. So whether it's the unit test, whether it's a function test, whether it's a performance test, any kind of test, you want to generate your artifacts and you want to upload it. Right. So maybe in the Jenkins pipeline, you are running some API, you are going to upload to the JFrog Artifactory. Right. So if you want to use the GitHub and you don't want to upload you only third party a repository, third party like JFrog Artifactory or something Artifactory. So you can upload into GitHub Artifactory. Yeah, definitely we can upload a GitHub Artifactory. So that's it. That's the end of the video. And thank you.